I think at the time, well, I did read at the time, there was some controversy because it was criticized for black male bashing. And it is. If you watch this movie, there are no positive black figures in this movie. Alright, y'all, so this is not a video that I planned on doing, but I watched this movie on Sunday, and if you've seen the last video that I did on Sunday, you know how I felt about this movie. I'm about 5 shots in. I've had 5 shots of tequila, got the munchies a little bit. I was watching The Color Purple, getting a little depressed. I needed something in my stomach. And it's crazy because this film is so old, and I've seen this many times over the years, but I haven't watched this in 15 years. But for some reason, when I watched this Sunday, first time watching it in, like I said, 15 years, it did something to me where I could not stop thinking about this film ever since. So I had to get this on wax and let y'all know what I thought about this. And that is the classic Color Purple, directed by one of the best, illest filmmakers of our time, Steven fucking Spielberg. At the time when this movie came out, Spielberg was kind of like an unlikely choice to direct this because, you know, he's a Jewish white guy. He directed Jaws and E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, some of the biggest films at the time. And now he's tackling a period piece about black culture in the Deep South. Very unlikely choice. I read some trivia about this, and Quincy Jones, who I guess is a producer, executive producer, and he also did the music, he wanted Steven to do this role, but Steven was like, look, I don't want to do this shit. Like, maybe a more qualified black director that knows the culture can do this. And Quincy Jones said, white man, we want you. You've done the biggest films ever. We want this to be a smash. You know how to tell a story. You're the guy for the job. And I think he said something along the lines of, well, you talk about how, you know, you don't know black culture, so you can't direct it, where you didn't have to be an alien to direct E.T., and that's what convinced Spielberg to do it. But I argue that point because aliens don't exist. So that's something that's a figment of the imagination. You can do whatever you want with it. Black shit is real. So Quincy, you taking the L for that one, bro. I'm going to be going into spoilers on this. So if you have not seen The Color Purple, shame on you. Watch that shit, come back, let's talk about it. But yeah, let's get into this shit. The Color Purple is a cinematic masterpiece. It is. It's a cinematic masterpiece. Steven Spielberg, that's probably at the time, probably his best work as far as storytelling, man. The musical score, the way he set shots up, the way he set up scenes, the tension. You know, that movie made you feel something, man. If you didn't shed at least a tear or two watching The Color Purple, you have piss and vinegar in your veins. Something wrong with you. That movie hit me on so many levels, and I remember even watching it when it first came on VHS. I remember tearing up during the scene where Celie's sister was ripped away from her. I remember shedding a tear when Sophia went back to visit her family, but then she had to go back because the white lady that she worked for couldn't drive. And then Sunday when I watched it, my big ass was sitting there almost bawling like a baby when Celie was connected with her kids again and her sister. That shit, I get goosebumps now just thinking about it, y'all. So this movie was a very big deal at the time, and it is one of Spielberg's best work. You know, that this is almost a flawless film. It really is. The performances, the direction, the art direction, the cinematography, man, sound editing, all across the board. And it's crazy because this was nominated for 11 Oscars. 11. Didn't win not one. And Spielberg wasn't even considered for Best Director. That's fucking insane. But now, after giving this movie its props now, okay, now I'm going to get to where I'm conflicted with this film watching it again. Color Purple is definitely the catalyst for every Tyler Perry movie that has ever come out, man. I think at the time, well, I did read at the time, there was some controversy because it was criticized for black male bashing. And it is. If you watch this movie, there are no positive black figures in this movie. And that kind of sucks because if you look at the history of black cinema, we haven't been portrayed in the best light. All right, so prior to Color Purple, you had the blaxploitation era, which exploited black people on film. But say what you want about those films. At the time, you gotta think, with all these white movies that came out, we finally had heroes. We had black men that stood up to whitey, that kicked ass, that was sex symbols. You know what I mean? Even though it was exaggerated, it was a little stereotypical, but we finally got to see ourselves as superheroes. Shaft was a superhero. Superfly Priest was a superhero. Dolomite was a superhero. So yeah, over the top, a little insulting to some blacks, but look, we had our heroes, man. We never had that before. But we've never had a cinematic masterpiece with black people on the screen. The closest thing we've come prior to Color Purple was probably Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross. Okay, that's probably one of the first times you've seen a film with a predominantly black cast and black filmmakers that was done like really legit. Like it was a legit film that can cross over to, you know, to other audiences, you know what I'm saying? Not just us, because of blaxploitation, you know, it was for us. And it's funny because, you know, white folks produced them shit so it could be catered to us and shown in our theaters. But you have a movie like Lady Sings the Blues, that should appeal to everybody, black and white. So with that being said, there's not a film that I can think of that really showed us in a real positive light, and not just a positive light, but as powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's powerful. For years, the black man has been emasculated, you know what I mean, on film and what have you, you know, in life. But when Melvin Van Peebles dropped Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, that was the birth of blaxploitation. But that's the first time you've seen a black man in a position of, I ain't taking this shit. I'm a man. I have fucking balls. And if you fuck with me, I will kill you. And yes, I will fuck your white women too. All right. You know what I'm saying? So now back to Color Purple. Color Purple is probably at the time the best done, the best made black film with black people. You know, it was just that like that's almost like our Godfather. I can hear some of y'all in the comments right now. Man, you forgot this movie, you forgot that movie. Okay, I'm gonna insert this real quick. I gotta give a shout out to Claudine with Diane Carroll, James Earl Jones. Let's Do It Again, Uptown Saturday Night. Released the same time as blaxploitation, but wasn't blaxploitation. Showed us in a positive way, but still, those were our movies. Those were for us. Now, back to the fucking video. The way, you know, because this happened now, it's like, damn, the biggest black movie that we have, and the black man is seen as an abuser, a pedophile, you know, incest. You know what I mean? Even though that stuff did happen in the South at the time, but you know, so there is some fact that it is based off of a novel, but still it's like we finally get this platform now to really show black beauty, and we show the black man as like this monster, like on some Birth of a Nation type shit. W.D. Griffith, I think that's his name. And that's no diss to Spielberg. Spielberg was just directing the source material from the book, but it's just sad that the biggest black film at the time shows us in a negative light. You look at all the black characters in this film. Okay, you have Mr. Danny Glover. I hated Danny Glover at the time. It wasn't until Lethal Weapon came out that I finally said, Danny Glover, I'll fuck with you again. But back then, Danny Glover was a fucking monster. I hated him. So you had Mr. Danny Glover. You had his pops played by Adolph Caesar, who was also, I think, nominated at the time. You know, he was a piece of shit. He's the one that raised Danny Glover's character to be that way. You have Danny Glover's son, Harpo, who was a weak ass dude who let his wife push him around, and then he tried to beat his wife to try to get her to act right, but still couldn't get her to act right. You know, and Celie's father, you know, who raped her and her sister and gave Celie 2 babies and had the babies taken away. There was no, at least none that I could think of. Like, look, I know there's some Color Purple enthusiasts out there. Maybe comment below who was a powerful male figure in this movie, because I can't think of none. All right, this is about Celie, played by Whoopi Goldberg, and the tragic life that she had to deal with. And yes, it was tragic, y'all. This movie was a hard watch, man. It's disturbing to watch. It might be on some top 10 list of a lot of people. And, you know, this is like one of those situations almost like Precious, where you could watch it, but it's like, after I've seen what I've seen, well, no, I'm not going to put it in the category of Precious. No, I'm tripping, y'all. I'm tripping. I'm not going to put it in the category of Precious. Precious was definitely more disturbing. I'll never watch Precious again. There were things in Color Purple that was funny, that was humorous, and that's another thing that Steven Spielberg added to this film was the humor. He put a lot of humor into this shit and a lot of heart into it. So there are scenes where you could laugh at. This movie, as a black man, this movie is hard to watch because it just really shows us very negatively, very bad. I think Color Purple betrays black men worse than blaxploitation ever has. You know, so is it safe to say Color Purple is a blaxploitation? I wouldn't go that far, but you know, it didn't show us in a good light. And of course, you know, people of different races see us a certain way anyway. Let's just be real. Fuck y'all that say racism don't exist. You know, there's a touch of racism in everybody, and black people are just naturally seen a certain way. And when you watch this movie, when different cultures watch this movie and they see how we got down, damn, niggas are crazy. Like, niggas beat their wives and, you know, they rape their daughters and shit. I mean, that's just me, y'all. So, you know, I'm just seeing this as a black man, but as a film lover and as a person that loves movies, I think that Color Purple is absolutely flawless. But as a black man, I said, damn, Steven, Alice, and Quincy, everybody involved, could y'all not rope somebody into the script that was like, you know, I mean, I don't think it wasn't until Malcolm X, man, where we finally seen like a big budgeted, you know, big movie where it showed a powerful black man, Malcolm X, and he was robbed for an Oscar. You know what I mean? But prior to that, yeah, man, we just didn't have that, y'all. So listen, I'm not going to ramble on about this movie. I really dig The Color Purple. If I give The Color Purple a grade, I would definitely give it an A. But the thing that's keeping me from giving it an A plus is just the Tyler Perryism of the brother on screen. You know, and this no not to Tyler Perry. I love Tyler Perry, man. I congratulate him on the studio. Hell, maybe I can work there one day. That brother is definitely necessary to the culture, man. But you got to admit, when you watch his movies, with the exception of Daddy's Little Girls, there's like, it's either one extreme or the other. Either there's a really evil black man, or there's like the really squeaky clean, you know, when he smiles, you see the ding, you know, the squeaky clean, really good guy. And it's like, brother, just show brothers how we are, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just show real brothers. You know, it ain't gotta be extreme evil and extreme good. Just, you know, show us how we are. Shit, we're flawed, but yeah, we have good things about us, man. You know, show us a James Evans on the big screen. Show us Uncle Phil on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? Flawed brothers, but a powerful black man that we can look up to. Say what you want about Cosby, but look, Cosby helped raise me. Cosby was like another father, man. When I talk about my fathers, it's my pop, James Lynch, then Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, he's my second father, and then Bill fucking Cosby, Cliff Huxtable. Yes, Combustible Huxtable. So y'all, I'm probably leaving a lot of shit out, man. I'm trying not to lose y'all on these fucking videos, but yeah, man. What did y'all think about The Color Purple, man? Did it get you in your feelings? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you think I'm just full of shit? You know, comment freely below. Thank you for watching. As always, this is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.